And for today's vlog, I am fresh out the pool. So I've got a big grin on my face because I've had a great swim, and it's been the first great swim and the swim where I felt it's been really, really beneficial for probably the last couple of weeks. If I'll just backpedal a bit, a couple of weeks ago, maybe about 3 weeks ago, I had a really bad head cold and I just felt really grim, as you do. So I had a couple of days off and then got back in the pool and literally have just, it's felt like it's just dragged on and on and on. I haven't felt unwell, but my swimming's been terrible. I felt like I haven't achieved anything. I've just rocked up to the pool, done what I've needed to do, got out and looked at my times and then been upset by them, or just, it's like, for crying out loud, well, I'm not getting anything. I don't feel strong. I feel everything hurts, everything aches. It's felt uncomfortable. I've never given up on a swim. I've always done it, but God, it's been arduous some days. And I just literally then just hit the cafe and had some cake to cheer me up because nothing else was going to do it. So I was kind of blaming, I feel like I've lost my mojo, and I was blaming that on, well, I've literally blamed everything. I've blamed the full moon. I've blamed, well, of course it's Lent as well, so I've given up Jaffa Cakes. I mean, what kind of idiot gives up Jaffa Cakes for Lent when they're swimming? Me! So I gave up Jaffa Cakes as well, which has been torture. So roll on Easter Sunday. So I've given up that, and there's other things I've blamed as well. I've blamed an ill-fitting costume one day, the fact that my goggles weren't working so good. I've literally just blamed everything except myself and my mindset. So it's been, thinking about it, I think I've just been swimming in my comfort zone. I've been swimming and I've been achieving certain numbers, which are fine, and that's where I've been working towards. But I've not, I think at this stage in training, the numbers, the times coming down just eke down. They're just really, really steady. I don't blast something out the bag and they go, oh my God, that's amazing. They're all just little improvements all the time. And I know that, but every little one counts. Every little half a second or a second matters to me, because that's just improvement. And that shows that I'm working towards where I want to be. But I've not seen any of those, and it's been frustrating. And like I said, you just blame everything except yourself. So I just thought I've just kind of become comfortable in my comfort zone. And the stupid thing is that I know that staying in my comfort zone, I can only ever expect to achieve the same as I've ever been achieving. So you have to be happy that you're remaining the same and that your times are staying there where they are. But the only way to improve is to work harder, to train harder, and take myself out. Now, I was having a chat with my good friend Karen, who I've trained with over the last couple of years, not so regularly because we don't live near each other, but we've trained together. But we talk most days about, well, everything in the world, but a lot of stuff is about training and swimming and how we're both progressing and doing. And she said to me, you know, sometimes you have to look for inspiration from somebody that's done greater and better things than you're hoping to achieve, and also people that have done, everyone has their own milestones that they're wanting to reach and everything, and it doesn't mean that because they're not swimming as long as you or running as hard as you, that milestone is not important to them and not as inspiring. But she did aim big, and she said, she reminded me of Iron Cowboy. Now, she told me who he was and pointed out that obviously he has Instagram and all those things. So I was looking on his Instagram, and she reminded me of something that he'd said in a post. And he was saying about basically making yourself deliberately uncomfortable. So you're taking yourself out of your comfort zone and you are working in that uncomfortable zone. And then you work in that uncomfortable zone until it becomes comfortable. And then when that comfortable zone becomes comfortable again, you then up your game again. And she reminded me that all I'd be doing is sitting, just doing that. And I'm going to have to get myself uncomfortable again. So I gave it a lot of thought. So this morning I woke up with kind of a different frame of mind, because at the end of the day, not only have I got to achieve this, but I got to get there safely and well, and knowing that I can achieve that distance. I've got a 21-mile swim to do. And I've worked out, I think, my strokes per minute. In that whole swim, I'm going to be rotating my arms 41, give or take a few, 1,000 times. That's a lot, and it's going to hurt. It is going to hurt, because that's the point of it, is that you push yourself as hard as you can and as far as you can to achieve something. Now, I'm doing this swim for charity, so there's just no way it's not happening. But I've got to get there in one piece, and I've got to get there well and well practiced, so that when the swim comes round, I'm not going to be injured or in any pain, and my mindset's going to be in the right place. I think mostly for me, this phase, this last 2-week phase, hasn't been about the Jaffa Cakes or the full moon. Although there is an advert, isn't there, where you could do a total eclipse with a Jaffa cake, but that's by the by. So I need to get my mind and my body working together to achieve something that's going to make my heart sing, because I'm raising money for a friend who died last year. So I need to combine all those things and get them all into one place, working together to get this swim done. So today's swim was the first swim of my new way of thinking, and it was great. It was fantastic. It felt really good, felt really strong, didn't ache, didn't feel like the water was made of, you know, like sometimes you feel like it's just made of treacle, don't you? And it just felt great. So I'm hopeful now, fingers crossed, that from now on in, that everything's going to change and move forward again, because I'm pushing it forward.